Greetings. Happy Wednesday. I wanted to hop on and give a midweek check-in. Sorry, turn the music down a little bit. Do a midday check-in with everyone. Wanted to check in with everyone who is participating in the 30-day elimination diet challenge, where we are eliminating anger, resentment, guilt, shame, fear from our lives through enlightenment, empowerment, and transformation. That is how we are addressing those issues. Now, I wanted to hop on and acknowledge someone reached out and asked a very good question. They have been working with the tools that we talk about when dealing with your emotions, sadness, fear, and anger. And they had a really good question. They said, all right, when you check it out and you say, okay, if I'm angry, there must be some kind of violation. And you realize that there was a violation, then what? And what I can say to that is, number one, stay tuned to week 4, because I will have Baba Wakesa on. He is the one, him and Sister Afia are the ones who class and counseling that I have taken advantage of, that taught me that technique, how to look at feelings as messengers. And so he has agreed to come on week 4, so I'm super excited about that. But with all of those different things, when you are addressing it, you have to look at it. Remember, anger is, there must be some kind of violation. Fear, there must be some type of danger. Sadness, there must be some type of loss. And so if you feel like you're angry and if your anger is warranted, there was some type of violation, then you have to come together with that person to see if you can you can talk about and go over those terms again. And you all talk through the violation. That's really the main thing that I think this tool is really helping you do, is to challenge you to communicate. And so you have to communicate, and then you just really have to, honestly, you have to really, sorry y'all, I just want to make sure that music is not too loud. Honestly, you have to really say to yourself, is it worth me continuing this partnership, this friendship, whatever it may be? And if you decide that it is, then you do work through those emotions. You have a conversation, you come up with another agreement, and then you move forward with that agreement. And then you have to really decide, if it happens again, then what? You don't want to anticipate it happening again, but you do want to have your terms. You have to come up with your terms. And that's all about really thinking things through, communicating with your friends, family, and your partners and your partnerships, to make sure that you have these agreements. You're using clear communication. And this is a perfect time for communication, because you got the Gemini energy that is really charging us to be more communicative, to express our true feelings about things. And what great tool to have than the feelings as messenger tool, so you can make sure you're able to really look at those feelings in a clear, aligned way, right? So also just wanted to check in. We had Mr. Edward Phelps on last week for the week 3 challenge. The week 3 chats. And we talked about memory. Is your memory your enemy? And how your memories really can, if you allow them to, it can bring an event that has happened in the past or that has not happened, something that you're thinking in your mind. It can bring it right here in the present. And it's your choice how you were dealing with those memories, right? We also talked about retelling your story, but I kind of feel like we didn't go into it as much as I really desired to. So I kind of want to talk about that now. Another thing that the Baba Wakesa and Sister Afia, specifically Sister Afia, in one of our sessions talked about, is how to retell your story so that you can retell it in a more powerful way. We have a control over how we tell our stories. And it's not the case that I am pushing for you to tell a story just totally false or just disregard what you feel about things. But I am saying, when at all possible, it is beneficial for you to tell a more empowering story about anything in your life. Say you have financial issues, right? What you're considering to be financial issues. but you're doing what you need to do to move forward. You're putting effort forward. Maybe instead of saying I'm broke, or maybe instead of saying I always struggle with money, or maybe instead of saying I'm a struggling single woman, or single mother, or I'm a struggling, think about ways that you can retell that so that you can bring some positive energy to the situation, some positive vibrations to what you're talking about. And that's anything. If you're in a relationship where you're having a tough time right now, how can you talk about that relationship right now in a more empowered way? Versus saying, man, this is tough. I don't know if this gonna work. It ain't go, like, how can you talk about it where even if it does not end up where you all are together, how can you make it where the story is still told in an empowering way? So one of the things I was challenged with about a relationship, and she said, Sister Phil said, well, try to retell the story. How can you retell that story to really talk about the power in the relationship? Because no matter what is happening right now, there had to be some power. There had to be some beautiful moments in that relationship. How can you tell the story to acknowledge those beautiful moments and to acknowledge the divine order that the relationship was in your life? Meaning there had to be some lessons and some blessing, because it always is. All is good, all is God. There has to be some God in it. How can we find and tell the God in our stories? And that's what I'm really wanting us to do for the rest of the week, alongside your homework, which I hope you all are doing your homework and you're ready for this Sunday's chat, which will be at 3 p.m. right here in the Living Intentionally with Queen Yenn Facebook page group. I'm in Facebook group. Alongside that homework, I want you to think about the stories that you tell, and how can you retell your stories and tell the God or the good in the stories. How can you retell it? Let's go back to the example I gave with, maybe you're struggling financially, right? Maybe instead of saying I'm always struggling, I don't have enough money, you can say, man, I'm definitely not where I used to be. My needs are provided. You can go into gratitude. And then you can acknowledge the work that you are doing to get yourself out of that situation, right? So tell that story and just keep speaking life, keep speaking life, keep speaking life onto the situation, right? Okay? So I want to challenge you to do that in anything, your relationships and your career, your money and situations and whatever it may be. How can you retell your story so that you are telling it in alignment with what you really desire out of the situation, and in power, and you're acknowledging God or the good in it, the divinity in it all, because everything is in divine order. Nothing is by chance, and everything is always working out for us. So as long as we know that, we can live in a powerful way. What does this have to do with that elimination of anger, resentment? As you do these different things, the resentment falls away. That disappointment falls away. As you start to reconcile and lighten your heart, all of these different strategies are ways for you to balance up and lighten your heart. And that's what we really want. Because as you balance and lighten your heart, that's when you really can experience the beauty in this journey while we're here in this physical experience. All right. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. I may see you again before the end of the week, may not. But either way, much peace, many, many blessings to all of you. Give thanks. Peace.